Today, I'll be talking with Thomas Griffin. He is the co-founder and president of OptinMonster. And OptinMonster is the perfect toolkit that will help you convert and monetize your website traffic. And then after working on his own businesses before starting OptinMonster and seeing what works with OptinMonster customers, he's here to share 6 powerful psychological principles that will increase conversions and drive more sales for your business. Plus, he gives a bonus tip at the end that will really change how you look at your products. So let's dive in. Hey, Thomas, thanks so much for coming on today with us.
Yeah, Christina, I'm so excited to be here and to get a chance to talk about some of the principles that are going to help your website convert more and get more sales, more leads, more clients.
Yeah, and in that, I was wondering if you could give us just a little bit of background about you and your current role with Awesome Motive.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So, I'm a co founder here at Awesome Motive, and I have been in the web space for a little over 10 years. I began by building websites for clients, and then I kept building the same thing over and over. And I thought, you know what? There have to be more people like me that are doing the same thing. And so I created a content slider plugin for WordPress, and it was called Soliloquy. Looking back, probably could have picked a better name because it's pretty hard to spell. You should see the analytics for people trying to search for this thing on Google. It's quite funny. And then I began to sell that. It took off after about 6 months and then switched over to just doing products. During that time, I met Syed from WP Beginner and the founder of Awesome Motive. And we partnered together to create a product called OptinMonster, which helps you convert more people, more visitors into subscribers and customers. We launched that in 2013 and it took off. It really solved a pain point in the market. And we partnered together and we've been working together ever since. And so now we just continue to build tools and that will help small businesses grow and compete with big guys. That's a mission that we're both very passionate about, and we want to continue for as long as we're able.
Yeah, and what I'm excited about having you on here is because it wasn't just one plugin or one product that you saw these principles work towards.
Mhm.
You've done multiple products, and then not only that, with OptinMonster, you see this working for many customers who use OptinMonster, and then also when you're onboarding other companies on with Awesome Motive, you have the same playbook that's working for them as well. So I was wondering if you could just give us some of these sales principles that you've seen that do increase the conversions and do increase the sales for most of the websites that out there.
Yeah, I would be happy to. And you're right. As we bring companies on and as we onboard them and as we apply these playbooks and principles, we've seen them work over and over again. And I love hearing the stories from business owners applying these on their websites. And some of them they have literally said this saved our business. It improved our conversion so much. It got so many more leads into our funnel. It got us so many more clients that this saved our business. And I love hearing stories like that. I love hearing stories like that. And the fact and the good news is that anybody can do this. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be like a super advanced techie, know how to code. No, these are general principles that anybody can apply, and they can be applied relatively quickly on your website. And so I'm excited to talk about them. So today I've got a few different tips. We've got 7 of them that I'd like to talk through, and they're psychological principles or principles of influence that are going to help increase conversions and drive more sales when people come to the website. And so the first one, let's talk a little bit about the concept of reciprocity. So most everybody knows and gets this, right? You got to give a little to get a little, and we've all experienced that. I think one of the best examples that most everybody can understand is you go to your favorite local ice cream shop, and they've got 12 different flavors. You're looking at the menu, and you're thinking, some of these sound pretty good, but I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to make a purchase decision yet. And they have these little spoons and say, hey, take a free sample. And you get a little free sample. You find the one that you like. And what has been found through research is those that take free samples are far more likely to buy more scoops of that ice cream than those who don't. So it might be the difference between giving a free sample and somebody saying, I actually want 2 scoops of that, versus somebody, they're not taking a sample and they say, I'll just take one scoop of it. So it's in the best interest of the business to offer something like that. And so I think when you think about that idea, you want to give a little to get a little. And let's take that from an ice cream shop to a website. So maybe you've got a website. Maybe you're in client services, and you want to get more clients for your business. So they're on the website. I think a couple great ways that you can use this principle to get more of those clients and leads into the funnel is something like a free lead magnet or an ebook or a white paper. Something that tells people, hey, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm helping solve a problem that you have. And so it might be, hey, 5 things you want to avoid when doing X. And you offer this, you get their name and their email address, maybe their phone number. It's something of value to them. And it's basically for them, it's free. There's no monetary cost to this. It's just name, email, and phone number, which for most people will autofill anyway. And so they enter this information, they get it from you. Now you've given something to them, and they are far more likely then to engage with you in the future. And so I think that's just a really easy example of how reciprocity can be used. And we've all experienced this, right? We've experienced somebody helping us move, right? We've been asked, especially if you got a truck, somebody's going to ask, hey, can you help me move? And you go help them move. Well, they're far more likely to help you in the future if you say, hey, I'm moving next week. Can you come help? They're far more likely to do that because that's what humans do. That's what humans do. And we want our websites to reflect that. We want our websites to reflect that humanness that we all share.
Yeah, and I like what you're saying about this because so as a website owner, sometimes we get a little nervous about doing that. Nervous about doing the free ice cream or well, online you can't do that, but
Right.
nervous about creating something for somebody. But as a consumer, when I walked by the ice cream store or walked by the samples, I never got mad at the people for creating the
Hmm.
sample for me. I was like, yes, I would like that. And so it's like what you said earlier. People are thankful for the the free content upgrade for me to check it
Hmm.
out and see what are you offering. And so as on my standpoint, I need to get over creating that. Don't be afraid to create that for them.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
really like that.
And for the people that are coming to your website, in their eyes, you're the expert. In their eyes, you're the expert. Even if we don't realize that, even if we don't think it, we live and breathe this stuff 24/7, and we think, oh, that's so simple. But the reality is, for people coming to the website, that might still be a very real pain point for them. And so when you can offer something of value to them that will help solve that problem and position you as like, hey, they're a logical solution to addressing that, and you can give that for free. They're far more likely to engage with you, maybe to fill out a contact form or get on a phone call with you. And that way you can go through the process of continuing to convince them that, yeah, we are the right person for this. And let's partner together to solve the problem and give you a solution that you need. And I think that's like the final piece is you always want to be helpful and valuable. Give more value away than you're more likely to receive. And I think that's just how in human nature things work. You give more value than you expect to receive, and most of the time you receive that value in some good and sometimes unexpected ways. So the next principle, and this one is quite powerful. This one's quite powerful, and there's some groundbreaking studies that were done. There was a book released by a guy named Daniel Kahneman called Thinking Fast and Slow, and in this he popularized something called loss aversion. So the principle of loss aversion, and to simplify it, in the study and research that they did, it's people are 2 times more motivated by the fear of loss than the potential of gain. And everybody has experienced this. You give a cookie to a child and then try to take it away. Oh, you're in for some pain. You are about to get a temper tantrum, right? But if they never have it in the future, then or they don't have it to begin with, it's unlikely that you will experience that. And so losing something that you already have hurts more than the pleasure of gaining something you don't have yet. And so this principle is quite powerful. And so ways that you can use this on the website, a great example like for e-commerce websites. So let's say you're selling something. Maybe it's a product, a physical product, maybe it's a software product. Saying something like, let's say you want to offer a discount. Save 20% off your next purchase will always work better than get 20% off of your next purchase. Because saving means you are losing less money you already have. Get means I have to spend money in order to access this thing. And so that psychological principle there, it's amazing how powerful words are. And so that's a very easy example to think like, okay, if I'm saving 20%, I'm keeping more of what I already have versus get 20%. I have to put all that I have in order to access this. And people don't like that. They might consciously say, well, there's no difference, but the actions speak louder than words, right? And we've seen this in studies over and over again.
Yeah, now I'm curious, how many people are going to, and I hope that they do go out and change that one word if they have a pop-up or something in their e-commerce store. I'd love to hear if anybody has anything that when they change it from get to save, what the differences are.
Yeah, I think it's that would be a great split test. And OptinMonster, like if you're using a pop up with OptinMonster, you can A/B test this, and we have seen it over and over again. We dog food, we use our own product, and we're practitioners of it. So we love looking at this and testing this and helping people understand just little ways, and just think about how much time that takes. Of all the things you do in your business, this takes a couple minutes. A couple minutes might mean 2 extra leads in the pipeline. What does that mean to you? That could be $10,000 in a month for some people. I mean, that's amazing, all for a 2-minute change. So that's a great example of loss aversion. Another one is the reason why the word claim is so powerful. And we see claim quite often. We see claim your discount, or claim your spot, claim your seat. Let's say you're registering for a class, claim your seat. It's loss aversion. It's the same concept. Claim means it is already yours. If I don't take an action, I lose it. And it's the exact same concept that you want to put into play here. So loss aversion, it's so powerful, and the reality is everybody wants a deal. So when you make people feel like they already have a deal and they don't take action, they'll lose it. You're far more likely to get people to take action on it. And so that's a super powerful principle that you can employ on your website to increase conversions and sales.
Yeah, and I'm going through thinking of all the times that I, yes, claimed something because it was very powerful for me as well. Fascinating.
That's exactly
Okay,
right.
so what would be your next tip?
So the next tip, this one is called consistency and commitment. And the short of it is people want to be consistent with an identity that they have said that they align with. So they want to be consistent with an identity they say they align with. They want to be consistent with a commitment they've made, either conscious or unconscious. And so, for example, if you say, I am a runner, right? That is an identity. I am a runner. Then people are going to be far more likely to actually run and take the steps to affirm that identity rather than if you just said, I like to run. It's so different. It's so different. And so, but that idea, that consistency commitment, you can use this on the website. And there's something called the Zygarnik effect. I think you say it's Zygarnik. I'm not sure. That Zygarnik effect that gets at this consistency and commitment theory is that people are more likely to complete something that they have already started. And the reason why is they've already made some sort of commitment to something that they've begun. They want to be congruent with a commitment that they've already made, so they're likely to be consistent in following up on it. So this is why things like two-step opt-ins, so you got a link, click here to get access to this free thing, and it opens up a modal and says, hey, enter your name and email address, far, far, far more likely for people to actually fill it out and do it because they've made that first micro commitment that says something about who they are. It says something about, I'm the type of person who wants to figure and solve this thing out, figure out this problem and solve it. And because they've done that, they're far more likely to complete it. Or it's the same concept of like a yes no type. You've seen before, you go to a website and something says, hey, do you want to save 20% on so and so? Yes, I'd love to, or no thanks, I already have enough money. Well, you click yes, and then it says, hey, enter your name and email and you're going to get this discount. They're far more likely to do it because they say, you know what, I'm the type of person who is going to figure this thing out. I want this discount. I'm going to commit and finish it. So that's a huge, that's a quite a powerful motivator for people on the website when they're taking action on things. I think that's something that you can very easily implement. The same concept with like an exit intent pop up. Let's say somebody is about to leave. The reality is 70% of people leave your site and never return. That's hard. That's a hard stat to stomach. Just think of all that value that's leaving and they're never coming back. So that's why exit intent is so powerful, because it's like a last chance for you to engage with them in a very like focused way. Say, hey, wait, I've got this particular thing. And we've actually tested this and we found this to work quite well with OptinMonster. We have a way for when people are signing up and let's say they're exiting, we make a comment about this. We say, hey, look, you've already committed to figuring out how to stop people from leaving your website. Don't let your doubts or your insecurities or your objections stop you. Like you've committed to this. Finish this process out, and I'm sure you're going to find the result that you want. And I think that again, when you tap into that, when you tap into that consistency and commitment, if there are ways in which you can get people to make what you call micro commitments or single actions that push forward closer to that identity that they want to align with, far more likely to then finish that action. And you can use that to get more people into your lists, to get more leads, to fill out your forms, to get more sales of your product.
Yeah, I do see that those work way better when I do the two-step and yes or no. I You're just more likely to click on it and then you're going to finish that out. So really powerful to be on the other end of it and actually do that for your own site.
Yep, that's
Very
right.
cool.
That's exactly right.
So, what is your next tip for us?
Okay, my next tip. So this is the fourth one, is scarcity and urgency. And everybody has experienced this. So most people within the last couple years have gone traveling, right? They have gone somewhere, they've gone on a travel. I know we just talked, you've recently traveled, I've recently traveled. And when you're doing that, you are going to look for a place to stay. You might do an Airbnb, you might be VRBO, it might be a hotel. And booking.com is famous for how they do this. And so what they'll do is you'll research, you might find a room and say, hey, 85 people have viewed this in the last hour. And what do you immediately think? You immediately think, oh my goodness, this room is about to be gone. I better take action soon. Or they'll say something, and I think Airbnb or VRBO are good at this. They'll say, hey, this property is already booked up like 85%. So you better find the dates and you better take it because there are other people that are going to be booking this property and you don't want to lose it. Again, loss aversion. You don't want to lose the chance at staying at this particular property. So scarcity and urgency, really, really powerful. So for example, let's say you've got a sale going on your website and we just came out of Valentine's Day. So maybe you had a Valentine's Day sale. It's pretty common to have a Valentine's Day sale. Well, people kind of know when Valentine's Day is. It's pretty standard. But what they don't know is you might say, hey, the sale ends in 3 days. But they don't actually like register the amount of time that's left. And so you can use a countdown timer to just tell them, hey, listen, the clock is ticking on this sale. It's going to end soon. You know you want the deal. You know you want to claim it and save this amount versus if you purchased it in the future and you didn't. So take action. And people respond to that. People respond to that very well. And it doesn't matter and it's broad across all different spectrums and types of people. Again, there's just a general principle, everybody likes a deal. And a bonus with this, something that can actually work really well. Using something like an image of a low battery. Like, so as the countdown timer gets lower, you have a battery image that gets lower and lower, and it goes from green to yellow to red, because everybody knows the pain about your phone when your phone is about to die, and they're more likely to take action to avoid that. So if they think like, oh no, like that battery is shrinking, I need to take advantage of this before like it's gone. And so
That's
that's
pretty
a
powerful.
it is, everybody's looked at it like, oh, 5%, like what am I going to do? I need to find a charger immediately. I got to fix this. People react in the same way to when they're about to end. They react in the exact same way. So you want to use that, like that idea of urgency. Scarcity, use words like limited time offer. You want to increase the desire to take action today and claim the deal that they see. So if there's something there, make it a limited time offer. Make something special that you don't normally do as a limited time offer. In this scarcity and urgency flash sales work, let's say you've got a course that you're registering, signing people up, say, hey, it ends in X amount of days with a countdown timer, and then tell them only a certain number of spots left. And that combines both. That's hey, I've only got 4 spots left, and this thing's closing in 12 hours. That's both scarcity and urgency. And people are far more likely to take action on that when you use those two things in combination together.
Yeah, that's cool, but I really love that's super super powerful because it's almost like it's tying in what we already deal with probably on a daily basis of our battery going down. And so to use
Yes,
that image and tie it into something that, we probably want anyway, that's super powerful. I'm going to have to try that on something. I don't know what I'll try it on yet, but I'm going to figure something out.
I
Um
guarantee it'll work.
that's amazing. Cool. So I think we're on tip 5. Do you have something for that one?
Yes, I do. So tip 5 is the principle of liking. And the short of this is people buy from people that are both like them and actually like them as a person. So they're like them in appearance. So maybe they dress the same, or they're the same age, or you think they come from the same circle, and they actually like them. So the person is friendly with them, they are engaged in conversation with them, they want to learn more about them. And we instinctively know this. That's why when you go to buy something, let's say you're researching a air humidifier for your house. Maybe you just want a personal humidifier, the air's kind of dry. You go and you search review sites, and then you ask your friends. You say, "Hey, I'm looking at this. What have you bought and what have you used?" Now, why do we do that? We trust our friends. Typically our friends are like us, and they like us. And so the more that you can do that on your website, the more likely that those people are to say, yes, I actually want to buy from this person because I trust them. They're like me and they like me. So that I I think of it this way: of like all things being equal, people will buy from their friends. So do your best to identify, empathize with your ideal customer, make all things equal, and then go make lots of friends. And you're gonna be able to sell far more. And so some ways that you could actually do that on the site, you could have pictures of actual people, like smiling people that would be somewhat similar to the demographic that you are trying to reach and trying to sell to. You could speak in a conversational tone. You cut the jargon, you take out the fluff, you remove words that nobody understands, and you just talk just like we're talking here, just a conversation, but you do that on your website. And that's going to get people to engage with you. You'll become endearing with them. You'll be more than just a website. You'll be a human behind the website. And business is done between humans. And so when you're able to employ those things, again, you're far more likely to get that first engagement, to get that first commitment, and then it gives you a chance to follow up and convince them, hey, we're the right solution for you.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you set up that second piece because at first I thought for anybody who had a website, we were going to have to like get real personal and show our face. But you're saying no, you don't necessarily have to show your face. You don't necessarily have to be the person or the
Mm-hmm.
avatar in there. Just do it through images. Do it through the
Mm-hmm.
jargon or removing the jargon. Do it through the conversation. That's how we can really have people like us without having to be Although you can be the face of it, you don't have to be. So I really like how you followed that up.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be you. Of course it can be, and maybe in some businesses it might make sense to do that. But others it's just people want to know that they're humans behind what they're about to purchase from or engage in. They want to know that. They want to know that hey, there's somebody there who understands what I'm going through and can help me solve it. And the more that you can do that on your website, the more that you're going to engage and convert the visitors into the leads and subscribers and customers. It does tie into it. And so the next principle is authority. And the short of this is people give more weight to experts. People give more weight to that. They give more credence to what they're saying. They're more likely to believe it, abide by it, and take action on it. People want to buy from and hire the experts. That's just the reality of the situation. So position yourself as an expert, and there are various ways that you can do that. Maybe you have credentials. Maybe you have certain credentials. Maybe you are a CPA or a certified financial planner, and maybe that's a prominent thing on the website that you let people know, hey, that we've gone through all of this study, we've done all this testing, and we've validated that we have a certain set of credentials. So you're going to get an experience that you would expect from that type of person. You could do it through testimonials. Maybe you just have some testimonials, particularly from ones that have notoriety. So who knows? Maybe there's a celebrity you've worked with that you can have as an engagement or an endorsement. Maybe there's somebody that's an expert or known expert in the field, and you can get endorsements from them. So that can highlight, hey, yeah, if the expert can use me or uses my product or has worked with me, then certainly I can. You could reference research that backs up the claims. So you could have various bits of research to show, like, hey, experts have said that X, Y, and Z work. We offer X, Y, and Z. So, kind of a logical conclusion, you should work with us. You could showcase and highlight awards that you've received. Maybe there are various awards. Maybe you've come in a top 10 or something, or you've got a gold star in a certain area of your industry. Maybe you have a particular industry award that would be helpful to showcase as a badge. Another way that you could do this, maybe it's like you have a A+ rating on the BBB, so you highlight a badge for I have an A+ rating on the BBB, or maybe you've got a 4.5 or 5 star on something like a G2 crowd or a Trust Pilot. So you want to use those to highlight, hey, we're an authority. We know what we're doing. People have said that they love using us. So, come work with us or come buy from us.
And I like that too, because you're not saying you have to tout it all the time. You're letting the other websites or other organizations kind of tout it for you. You're just showcasing it that we've had these endorsements, we've had these things. We don't have to be showy. I guess a lot of people worry
Exactly.
about, am I being too showy? And no, you're saying you can do it by third party as well. Very
Exactly.
cool.
And I even think that that's more powerful than, of course,
Oh,
you got to find some ways to say, hey, I'm the expert, but it's more powerful when you let others do the talking and selling for you.
definitely. Awesome. So we've had 6 tips. Are there any other tips that you might have?
Yeah, I think there's another one that I think is really powerful, and it's the concept of social proof. The concept of social proof. It's super powerful. And the basic of it is, well, if lots of people are doing it, then probably I should too. We've all heard of we've walked by the store that's got people out the line and they think like, what am I missing? Like there's a little bit of the FOMO there, the fear of missing out, the social proof. And so I think that's quite a powerful principle, and you can use this on your website. In fact, we built a product called Trust Pulse that does exactly this. So think about when you're in a physical store. You're in a physical store, you see lots of people there, you see lots of people making purchases. Well, you're far more likely to engage in making a purchase because hey, other people are doing this too. But on a website, you have no way of knowing if people are actually buying this thing or not. And so the concept of Trust Pulse is we want to highlight activity that's actually happening on the website by real people, just like you would see and experience people in a real physical store. And if you're seeing, hey, so and so bought this thing 20 minutes ago, and they're from this location. So and so signed up for this thing 2 hours ago, and they're from this location. You see, oh, there are actual people that have researched this and they've made a commitment to buy or to sign up for it. And okay, I think that I will make that commitment to you because I see that. I'll make that decision. And so that's really powerful. That idea of social proof, and you don't want to be the one missing out. You want to take advantage of the offer because you see other people doing it too.
Yeah, I completely agree. We were like we were talking about a minute ago, we were on vacation, had somewhere to go, was going to a pizza joint. We were walking, we're using Google to take us there.
Hmm.
And we passed a very popular one, and we're like, "No, we've got plans for this one." As soon as we get there, absolutely nobody's in the pizza joint. We don't go in there. We go and turn around and go back to the pizza joint that has a line out the door because social proof is so powerful. So I love that you're able to tie that in with the online world because otherwise, if we didn't have something like Trust Pulse, we wouldn't be able to know what exactly is going on with a website. So that's really a
Exactly.
cool one.
That otherwise the activity is invisible to the visitor. But it shouldn't be. A physical store, you see all the activity happening right in front of you. So you need a way to display the exact same type of activity happening on your website. And TrustPulse does a great job of that.
That was such a fun episode to record and was full of so many nuggets. If you're like me, you probably took a ton of notes on this one. And he's excited to come back on. So if you have any topics that you want us to cover, just let us know in the comments below. If there's something that you were interested in hearing more about, we have all the resources in the show notes below. And thanks for listening.